220, couple days anniversary, Morgan. All right. We are live on YouTube and we're live on Zoom. Let's get started. David Rutz here, David Allen Capital. Today we're going to be talking about how to discuss payment processing with your funding clients. We've got thousands and thousands of funding clients, and we don't have thousands and thousands of payment processing clients. And every one of those funding clients could easily and should be a payment processing client because we can take their fees down to zero, right? So got a little training here on how to leverage your funding clients into payment processing sales, or how to serve your funding clients, or even your funding prospects, people that didn't take funding, but they're your warm market business owners. So this little training works whether they're a current client or a prospective client for funding. All right. Number one, they already trust DAC if they're a client already. They already appreciate the cost savings platform we got them for the funding, and they love cost saving solutions. So they're open, and people have proven that when someone's already a customer of yours, it's much easier to convert them into other products or services. And you can eliminate their costly credit card fees. So you want to inform them of this. All right. Most people or many people don't know that they can take their credit card fees down to zero. Now, one of the things that you want to keep in mind, the problem people have is earning a profit in business. It's one thing to do revenue. It's another thing to earn profit. 6 in 10 businesses are breaking even or losing more money, according to the Small Business Administration. 6 in 10. So that means they're not making even 1% of their sales as profit. They're losing money or breaking even. So when you can help eliminate the average credit card fees are 2.5% or so, 3%. If you can add that, all those sales and credit cards, if you can put 3% of those sales back into the bottom line, they may have made 3% of sales as profit. Imagine a business doing $100,000 a month in sales, but breaking even. Don't think that's not common. It's common. It's not uncommon at all. So if someone's doing $100,000 and they're spending $36,000 a year on credit card fees, they're doing $100,000 a month in sales, $36,000 a year on credit card fees. If you could have that fee passed to the customer instead of bearing the risk on the business owner, that's $36,000 in profit you've just added to that business owner. So it's not just taking fees away. Let's say that business is operating at 2% profit margin right now. On that $100,000 a month, they're making $2,000 only. The rest is payroll, product costs, services, insurances, licenses, rent, all that, right? If they're only making 2% of sales net profit right now on 100,000 in revenue, they're only making 2,000 a month or 24,000 a year. What if you could make that 2% 5%? Instead of making $2,000 on 100 grand a month in sales, they're now making 5,000 just because they switched their payment processor. Do you realize that's a difference between 24,000 a year and 60,000 a year profit to the business? That's a big difference. That means they've got $36,000 more revenue that they can invest into their business or take to their home to pay for some kids' tennis shoes, right? Don't underestimate the impact that has on a business, because percentiles are very small. Most businesses who are profitable are making under 8% of their sales as profit. The average is probably 3 to 4. So when you can take 3 to 4% and make it 5 to 6 just by getting rid of their payment processing fees, it's like walking into someone. I know this. Businesses that I'm partnered in, pizza restaurant, a donut shop, ice cream shops, and sandwich shop. Those shops, all of them, the payment processing fees are more than the rents. Imagine walking into a restaurant and say, what if we could, by moving your payment processing, your rent is now covered. Rent will be free. You don't have to pay rent anymore. You've got rent-free restaurant space, rent-free construction company, rent-free, rent-free, rent-free. You can't say for sure you can cover that, but you could ask someone, what are you doing in credit card fees or credit card sales? 100,000? Really? Let me ask you, what do you think your rent is a month? $12.50. 1250. What if we can get your rent free by switching payment processors? What if we could save you at least 1250 a month in payment processing? What? Free rent feels more valuable than reduce your fees. Free rent feels a little more valuable than fees go down to zero. But so does driving your profit. So many of you may not be business owners who rely on your revenue minus your expenses to live, but a business who does sometimes doesn't get paid. And when you tell them you can add 3% more to their profit, that sounds better than reducing their fees by 3%. You're actually reducing their fees by 100%. And payment processing fees is one of the largest fees. I haven't taken credit. I mean, we take credit cards for our ID Protect, but it's not a big part of our revenue. But when we had 100% of our revenue was done through credit card machines in a former company, that fee was about 4 times what our rent cost. And if I knew about dual pricing and it existed then in a second, I would have been like, done. The biggest expense we had monthly was our payment processing fees, more than anyone's pay, more than anyone's salary, more than obviously we had inventory costs. It cost more. But as far as fixed cost or monthly costs, our credit card processing fee was the largest cost next to buying the inventory we sold. Unbelievable. Commissions were higher too, but the non-commission, non-product costs, there was nothing in the office that cost more. Insurance, no. Legal fees, no. Payment processing fees, the number one cost. So it bothers business owners. And if you don't know this, then you maybe don't talk to them, right? So how do you reach out? You could call them or you could text them. You could email them. Anytime you're going to email, I just put an email training into the Facebook page today, just a quick blurb about how to do email marketing for our business. So read it if you didn't already see it, but it's the same thing applies for payment processing. If you're going to email, the subject line's got to be private to them. So text them or email. Subject line's got to be something that if it says business funding, it is not getting open. Save money today, not getting open. Everyone says that. You got to say something private about their business. Okay. So you can reach out to them, and what you want to do is remind them you're with DAC. You're reaching out to an existing funding client, let's say, because that's what this training is about. Reach out to your warm market or existing clients, which are your warm market. Hey, I'm just checking in to see how things are going with your funding that you got. Were you able to grow that business? So you're reaching out. You know why they got the funding. Did it grow the way you wanted it to? Great. Hey, I just got a quick question for you. Are you still paying payment processing fees, credit card fees? Or are you having those covered already through the dual pricing? That's a simple question. Are you still paying your payment processing fees, or are those now covered from your dual pricing? Simple sorting question. And what do you mean? Well, we can get your fees completely wiped away in most every case by moving to our processor with dual pricing. Would you be interested in talking to one of our experts? We've got a division that focuses on payment processing. It's not my focus. My focus is funding, but we've got a division that focuses on it. Would you be interested in getting a quote or seeing what we can do to eliminate your fees? It's that simple. It's a yes or no. So what are you doing for fees? Are you still paying them, or have you already got them wiped away through dual pricing? It's one sorting question. It's a yes or no. Yes, I've already wiped them away. I'm already on dual pricing. Good for you. That's awesome. How much is it saving you? Get a story out of it. And great. And then you ask for referrals, or you maybe say, hey, if they're big enough, maybe you make them an agent. Say, how'd you like to earn a commission on your own account? You have to come into us, become an agent, and then sign your own service up. So that's what you can do for someone that says, yes, I've already done it. But all the people you call aren't already doing it. And so you'd say, great. We've got a division that focuses on this. It allows the customer to pay cash or credit and takes your fees away. We got a division that's focused on this. Would you like to talk to one of our experts or get a quote? Would you like to talk to one of our experts or get a quote? It's a yes or no. You got a yes or no. You're either still paying for them or not. And yes or no, you want to talk to someone or not. You don't need to educate them much right here. You just need to find out if they're interested. All right. That's it. And then respond accordingly. If they say, yeah, I'd love to get a quote, great. You can go out and fill out your payment processing intake form. You can fill it out yourself because it's not an application, and you can get all the information and fill it out for them. You will need at least 1 month payment processing statement. So you're going to need that sent to you, or they're going to have to upload it. You must have that to proceed. So they either send it to you or you send them your link and say, all you got to do is fill out a couple of quick information to set up that call and get the quote. And you'll need to upload 1 month payment processing statement so we can see what you're paying, see what your average ticket size is. All that comes into the quote. And it's nice if we know the type of equipment you're using, things like that. But if you could fill that out, one of our experts will reach back out to you and I'll help coordinate 3-way calls and stuff and make sure you guys get on the phone. It's that simple. What are you doing for payment processing fees? Have you already got them eliminated? Are you still paying them, or you already got them eliminated through dual pricing? What, huh? Yes or no? Hey, that's another division we have. We focus on that. And if you'd like, we can get an expert on the phone to help eliminate your fees today. Would you like to set up a call with an expert or get a quote? No, I'm good with who I've got. You don't need to argue with them. You don't need to. Are you going to keep paying the fees? No problem. You just, okay. Your job is to ask a sorting question on the front end and an invitation to a quote or a call. As long as you do that, the outcome's the outcome. Don't take it personal. Follow up regularly. Use some social proof. Social proof is stories. I can tell you, like I just said, our rent was all covered from payment processing fees. Every branch as it opened, the payment processing fees we were saving was more than the rent location. So it was like we had rent-free businesses by moving payment processing. Keep it casual. You don't need to be super professional. You're offering help. You're not hard selling them. Offering help, not hard selling. What are we doing? Offering help, not hard selling. Also ask for referrals. Hey, do you know any other business owners I might be able to call and help out with either the funding or payment processing? We love to help fuel businesses profit with funding, and we love to help fuel their profit by getting rid of their payment processing fees. Do you have anyone I might be able to reach out to? Just tell them you referred me. It's that simple. And then the next steps, use the script I just gave you and implement it. You need to almost have a recipe where you say, I am going to try to have 5 payment processing people fill out the form this week, or 1, or 15, whatever your goal is. Keeping in mind, the more businesses you reach out to, the more you help, the more success you're going to see yourself. You're going to get real good at this, but also you're going to build your residual income. And these are going to become funding clients who use the funding platform, and they're going to be payment processing clients. You get residual and bonuses on both of those. So that's how you can make an impact in the payment processing space. It's that simple. Reach out, say the words. What questions have you got? Any questions from anybody at all? If you got a question, use the virtual hand raise or type it into your chat box right there. I see Gregory has got his hand up. Go ahead, Gregory, if you could unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yeah, how you doing, David?
Buddy, how are you?
I'm good.
Good.
So I have a little bit of experience with payment processing. Maybe
Mhm.
a few years ago back. This is before COVID, so I know some things have probably changed, of course, since then. Uh, I did notice, I was actually door to door with it,
Yep.
business to business, but door to door. I was walking, walking the streets. The biggest thing that I've always ran into, a lot of these businesses that you go into, the owner's not there, so you kind of target mom and pops. That's easier. What's your biggest way to get around gatekeepers, as you could say, with maybe larger corporate type of companies?
Yeah, when I don't necessarily walk into businesses and talk to them, but what I found with funding for the gatekeepers is I give the same enthusiasm and love message, I'd call it, my passion for helping fund businesses. I give that to the gatekeeper because I just want to introduce myself to the owner. Are you the owner? No. Okay. Yeah. I just want to and I tell them the same thing I would say if it was the owner. I just want to introduce myself because we love to help business owners get funding to grow. And I'm with David Allen Capital. We've got this portal. It's the most convenient and best way for people to get working capital. So I just want to introduce myself to the owner. When's a good time I could come back and meet them? Or can I give you this card to get to them? So you share the same thing, payment processing. Hey, I just want to, are you the owner? I just want to introduce myself to the owner because I've got a passion for helping to drive the profits of business owners by eliminating their credit card fees and getting them funding. I always lead with funding if I'm talking to someone, and then follow up with payment processing. But
Okay.
what I've learned with gatekeepers is if you give the same enthusiasm for them, you're not selling anything, you just want to meet and introduce yourself to the owner, then you many times can get their name and phone number. Or they're busy right now, but I'll leave you their card, no problem. And if you ever leave the card, that's a win. Your outcome is getting your information in front of them. And that's why we have the drop cards. This is the funding card, but we have a payment processing card too. And it's a win if you can get them the card, but here's the magic. Here's where it goes to the next level. You ask the person, can you make sure, what's the owner's name? Tom, great. Tim, Lisa, whatever it is. You remember that. When's a good time do you think I might be able to reach back? Well, and you can kind of feel I don't want to commit Tom to talking with you, Dave. I don't know if Tom wants to talk to you, but I'll commit to getting the card. No problem. When's a good time that I could try Tom back? Well, you could try him this afternoon. Great. And what's your name? I always get their name. Lisa. Great, Lisa. I'll let Tom know when I call him that we had a great conversation. Thanks, Lisa. And now Lisa knows when I call, I'm going to remind Tom that I talked to Lisa, and Lisa was going to get you the card. And I'll thank Tom. I'll remind Tom what a great job you did, Lisa, and thank him for getting you the card. Thank you very much. So now Lisa's got a little obligation to get this card to Tom because you just met Lisa, and Lisa said she'd get it to him. She's not lying, right? So I would just say that's the method, but I can tell you I've not personally gone door to door doing payment processing. I know there's a lot of people do. You've done it. But I can tell you personally, if I'm cold canvassing business funding, I will go into one business. This is how I did my advertising business in my early 20s. We signed up 1,300 restaurants to buy one, get one free meals every time you go in. That wasn't easy to do, but we had 1,300 businesses, and then we signed up the coffee shops and the salons and 20% off a massage and 50% off of this and that. So it was a coupon book, but it was unlimited use, right? It was a VIP card. And so it was hard to get 1,300 locations, but what we would do is we'd have one appointment, and let's say it's with the Italian restaurant in the corner of the shopping plaza. We'd have that meeting, but then we'd walk next door to the Martinizing carpet cleaner or the, what do you call them? Clothes cleaners.
That's what I was doing the same thing. Yeah.
And I'd walk into the dry cleaner and say, hey, is the owner in? Hey, I just had a meeting with Marcy, the manager at the Italian restaurant. We signed him up for our coupon savings. But hey, I just wanted to introduce myself because we're offering this great advertising thing and blah, blah, blah. I just happen to be next door. And so if I'm going cold canvassing, whether it's payment processing or this, if there's a coffee shop, I'm starting there and I'm buying a coffee and I'm meeting the owner. I'm canvassing as a customer and I'm not throwing the cup away and I'm walking into the next place and the next place and the next place and the next place with a cup. I just happened to be at the Dunkin' Donuts at the corner and got myself a coffee and I saw you guys. I hadn't met you yet. I'd like to help business owners in my community. So I'm just coming in to introduce myself to you and let you know I'm in business funding. And if I can ever help you, I just want to give you this card. It's a casual, you're canvassing as a customer or a patron of the plaza rather than a door-to-door salesperson. And so you said you did the same thing. And so that's all I can say is the door stopper or I don't like to look at them as, what do you call them? The
gatekeeper.
Gatekeeper, yeah. They are gatekeepers many times, but they're not gatekeepers. They become your ally and your friend if they believe in you. And so I look at it and say, I'm going to make a fan right here. They're going to feel on me that I really want to help their business. I'm not selling anything. I'm offering them something. And I'm going to make a fan out of Lisa or Tom or whoever that person is at the front. They're not a gatekeeper. They become my ally. They're going to help me. they're my assistant after this, after they get done meeting me. And not all of it. Sometimes they're just, no, you don't know me. I don't know you. Get out of here. I've never had someone treat me negatively in all my years going into places, but I'm disarming when I go in. I don't go in with a clip book. I don't go in, with my briefcase ready to sell. I'm just casually walking in with a coffee cup in my hand and I have these cards. Oh, yeah, I got one in my pocket and it's bent up. Or sometimes I'll have it out. Hey, I wanted to give you this quick. You're almost walking out already. I just wanted to give you this card, introduce myself. I was grabbing a coffee, but don't know the owner. Is the owner in? Hey, let me leave you this card. Would you get us? What's the owner's name? Tom, can you get it to him? I mean, it's okay to be casual. In fact, it's more effective to be casual.
Right.
Right.
So one quick
Yeah.
question. Sorry. For those postcards, I actually seen one a few days ago, so I'll probably reach out to that agent to see how they do it as well. Some
Yeah.
techniques,
Yeah.
but I was looking for the QR code because I went to the Vistaprint website, the partner page, and I don't know how to get my QR code onto that card.
So we do it at Canva. You can do it at Canva, but at Vistaprint, if you go to QR code generator, if you go on to Google search and you just put QR code maker, you'll see 20 of them. I always use QR Monkey because it allows you to choose different colors and you can put your logo in the middle or your picture, do different things and make it different shapes. So I use QR Monkey. It's free. You put in your replicated site, it gives you the QR code, you download it then to your computer. Now, when you go to Vistaprint, you can upload it into your onto your thing, just like you add your name and everything, you can add it in there. So
Okay.
Vistaprint does have a QR maker, but it's like this. It's just a standard. Oh, this one doesn't have my QR. This is one of my old cards before QR codes and the old logo. Wow. Interesting. So that's an old one there. But yeah, so it's just a standard black QR code, which is fine.
Okay.
All right. Hopefully that'll help
Thanks.
you with.
No,
No,
thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
You bet. All right. I see Sandy Lynn's got her hand up. Go ahead, Sandy Lynn. You can unmute yourself. There you are. We might have two hosts trying to help you unmute and maybe muting you. There you go.
There we go. Yeah. I'm like, it kept telling me it was not me. It was not allowing me to mute, unmute. Okay. How big can a payment processing can we handle?
As big as they get. There's
So,
not a client too big.
and I mean, maybe I'm being a little facetious in this, but like, so if I went to corporate Walmart and I said to corporate Walmart, hey, how about, I know that you already save, $5 bazillion and everything else, and you're probably paying very little because you do so much money for them, but how would you like to pay even less?
Yeah.
You
There's
handle
someone-
Walmart, like that kind of thing.
we could handle them. The odds of it happening are slim.
I wasn't, that's what I said. I'm being a
Yeah.
little facetious. I'm just using them as a
Absolutely,
big
because
example.
all you're doing is switching a number in their computers. It's like, could you switch from AT&T to Verizon even if you're IBM? Yeah. Every phone just switches to Verizon. It's just a bill. The bill just becomes much larger, but the processor's got to be willing to approve that big thing. Now, would they approve that to Walmart? I'm sure they would, but they got to improve all the advances they're going to give Walmart every day. The issue is those companies are usually publicly traded, and they lose a customer like Walmart, it hurts their stock price. So sometimes they're not even making money on the processing, the super large ones. But as an example, let's say someone like Home Depot. We had a Home Depot we were looking at for different things. And, maybe you start with all the Florida stores, or maybe you start with these stores. So you win them over slowly. And so that's how you get the large ones. But yes, we
talk to
can
the
handle
district
odds of-
manager or the regional manager. Is that how you do that?
Yeah. Yeah. You go
Yeah.
someone in the purchasing department. I
Do
mean,
you have any corporate deals right now?
we don't, not personally for DAC, any massive ones. No, we do have some in our healthcare and we do have some in funding, but we don't have any on payment processing yet. We don't, our processors do. Our processors do. We've got some real big car lots right now, car dealerships, multi-car dealerships, like 20 dealerships, 10 dealerships. But no, payment processing has been an underserved business for us. We don't have a lot of customers on it right now. We've got great processors, but we don't have many submissions to it. We probably only have 30 submissions a week right now on payment processing.
I
So
mean,
we
to
want
be
to,
honest, well, the funding part is really great, and you're rewatching the onboarding the other day was incredibly, there were pieces that just were like fitting in like a big puzzle, like I had somehow missed on the first time I'd seen it.
uh-huh.
And so, that was great. But when I decided to become an agent, this was what drew me in. This piece was what I can do that. I can bring that to people. Yes, I'm pretty sure I could do the funding part. That isn't it, but it was more of a thing of this was sort of a unique thing. Like in the sense in my head, anybody can bring them funding, but this is something not everybody's bringing them. This is very niche to me. And that
Yeah.
was like where it was in my head and how it kind of blew up and why I went, yeah, I want to be a part of this. So I would really, I mean, well, obviously the funding part is something that's going to get put out there and I'm going to do. This is something that I really want to
Lead with.
focus on.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
where I want my lead to be. Is that fair? I mean,
Absolutely. That's why we have it, because the reality is there's no better way to create a passive residual income. Yesterday I was working on some presentations and there's an icon pack, if you will, a bunch of little graphic packs. They're kind of neat. And one of them has a person sitting in a lounge chair with a dollar sign above their head, and below it says passive income. And that only, when you look at payment processing and you build your customer base up to a certain point, you're getting paid on all the restaurant sales and roofing company sales and car dealership sales. You're getting paid on all of it. And you're not there selling a car. You're not there doing the oil change. You're not serving the pancakes, but yet you get about 1/8% of all their sales. And some of them aren't even making a profit, but you've saved them. You've now got them into better profitability, and you get a small fraction of their sales for providing that service. It's spectacular. It's um, I'm a believer in investing in companies for revenue sharing. I don't like profit sharing. I'll take it, but profit sharing is never guaranteed. Revenue sharing is always guaranteed. So if I were going to invest in a company, and every company I've invested in, I've gotten revenue sharing, not profit sharing, and also profit sharing. But it's like, I want to make sure I'm getting at least 2% of all revenue, or 1% of revenue, or 4% of revenue until I get all my money back, and then 1% for life. You don't have to invest to get revenue sharing from a company. You literally get a customer and you get revenue sharing from them for life. It
that's
is
like Shark Tank guys.
spectacular.
That's
What's that?
What the Shark Tank guys do.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly the same mentality, right? My son always says, "You got to watch Shark Tank." I've only seen it a couple times.
Oh,
My friends love
it's
it, but
awesome.
yeah.
It's really a great learning lesson in entrepreneurship. But yeah, so that's I just wanted to make sure that that wasn't because obviously it's the DAC brand, and I
Mhm.
don't want to, if this isn't really where you want to be represented, you want this as a back burner thing
No, no, no.
once you're in the door, then I didn't want to be out there that this was my front line. You know what I
Oh
mean? Where
no. Lead with there's some people lead with our healthcare. If we've got the product, it's competitive.
okay.
And the difference is other people, no one else has our funding platform. That's why we lead with it.
Mhm.
No one else has a platform like this. Any other platform is a lead generator and they sell the lead. We're the only ones who are actually saying we're going to find you the best offer from those 20, not just sell your lead to someone. Payment
Yeah.
processing, there's other people with dual pricing. You're going to come across people go, yeah, I've already got that. Okay, that's all right. 90% of the businesses don't have it yet. So this is the time. The window's open now. 5, 10 years from now, everyone's already going to be on dual pricing. You'll have nothing to offer them. You won't be able to save them any more money. They
So
already aren't paying for it.
second
So this is the
question,
window. What's that?
my second question to
Yeah.
that is, I don't know if it's still the case because I haven't been there, I haven't lived there in 3 years, but in New York, dual processing was actually illegal.
Yeah.
So how do we know if, I mean, where
I
we
will
are,
answer that.
that's
It's
going to be
not
an issue?
illegal anymore. It's not
Oh,
illegal. Surcharging is illegal there. In certain states, there's like 10 states now, surcharging is illegal. Surcharging is when you're using a credit card, we're going to add a fee called credit card processing fee of 3% or 4%. That's called
Okay.
surcharging. Dual pricing is you have a credit card price and a cash price, and it's advertised. And you have to do it in a compliant way. You have to show the credit card price. Now you can do it, but you can't just add a fee on in New York. Many people do, but it's called surcharging and it's illegal. And you can't do that on debit cards. If you go to our payment processing training and watch and read that document, it is
Mhm.
all 100% compliant in every state.
Okay.
Every
I
state.
did read it. I just was concerned in the sense that because of the whole thing, that I knew, and like I know that even in Texas, like our if you go and you pay your water bill and you use a credit card, there's a 2.5% surcharge, and it says surcharge right on it. But I
Yeah.
know that that's not really what they mean. What they mean is that they're charging you for credit card processing. And they tell you this is a credit card processing fee,
Yeah.
right? Because you're using a credit card, you're going to get charged this, or they charge you a flat rate, like $25.
Yeah,
Kind of
certain
thing.
states you can do that, but you can't do that on debit cards. You are violating the Visa rules if you do that to a debit card. How do they know if it's a debit card or credit card? Their online equipment doesn't know that. So
Yeah.
they're violating policies. We don't we put people in a compliant friendly methodology which gets their payment processing fees covered in a compliant way.
So, I actually know the answer as to how they know the debit versus credit, and that's not, and I'm not even just talking about the word debit actually being on it. If there's a coding, like the first four numbers, if you look at your cards, all Visa is four, all MasterCard is five, all Discover is six, all American Express is three, for example. So the first four numbers is the Visa's number. The second four numbers is your whoever
Thank you.
gave it to you's number. The third four numbers is whether or not it's it's a credit card or I used to work for
Prepaid card
KeyBank's
or
MasterCard. So
yeah,
the
but
but that's is whether or not, and then if they put their PIN number in, when using it, if it says debit on it and they put their PIN in, then it automatically makes it as a check card versus a
right.
credit.
But
Yeah.
here's the issue though. Like we have authorized.net for
Hmm.
taking cards. Our authorized.net, if you use a card to pay for your Pay Protect,
Hmm.
DAC Pay Protect, it could be a debit card or a credit card. The pay authorized.net does not ask you for a PIN. It doesn't have the ability to ask for a
Right.
PIN.
So it
So it runs
automatically
every
becomes a
card.
credit card
It,
regardless. Hmm.
it runs every card as a credit card, yet Visa, if we
Hmm.
charge a surcharge, would say you're violating our rules. It is a debit card. You ran it as a credit card.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean by how do they know? I
Oh, yeah.
know the technology exists, but that doesn't mean the restaurant owner or the person who took the card said, "What's your PIN?" You go to Kroger with a debit card, they don't ask for your PIN anymore.
Right.
They run it as a credit card.
Exactly.
They just
Yeah.
take it, they take it, you don't have to enter a PIN. And
Yep.
so how is that possible? Well, they're not charging the surcharge.
Right.
And that's a lot of companies are charging surcharges, running it as a credit card, which is a violation, number one. And number two, many states you can't do surcharging at all, but you can do dual pricing and cash discounting. You just have to show the credit card price. You have to advertise the credit card price and then tell people there's a discount for cash. And that way people know there's two prices.
All right. I just wanted to make sure I had read it right. So I do appreciate your time. Thank you.
Great stuff. And thanks for sharing about the digits on the card. That's interesting. All right. We had another hand up. I see it's down now, though. Maybe it got answered already. All right. Well, I don't see anything else. Let me check. Anything in the chat bars, guys, support team, anything we got to, I'll see if there's any direct to me, but usually they're answered already.
Yeah, we have a couple public questions.
Okay, go ahead.
First one says, should I start buying the different cards to pass out?
My highest recommendation is if you're out there prospecting, this is a tool. This is a tool that stays in their cabinet, stays in it. I mean, there's nothing better than having You know, you meet someone, there's not a business funding platform coming in and talking to people every day. They got a bank manager at the Chamber of Commerce meeting, but that's for standard bank loans. Or they've got someone talking payment processing for startups, but they're not helping them with dual pricing. Or they've got health insurance, but they don't have health share. So our services are all super competitive and super high value. These are mini billboards. So my highest recommendation is, yeah, you invest in cards and you utilize them. I can tell you when we first started, we didn't have these though. So you can have success without cards, but people are going to ask, hey, have you got anything? Have you got a card? So rather than printing, cutting something on a paper cutter, you know, I literally have a paper cutter over here that I bought when I was 21 for that advertising company because I made my own cards at a place called Kinko's, and I'd print them on cardstock and cut them through a paper cutter myself because I couldn't afford to buy, a pack of 1,000, and I didn't know what card I wanted, so I'd do 12 at a time. And I'd cut them myself and I would try the different cards. That's how I did split testing back then. And so you couldn't just order cards online. You had to go to a printer and they usually wanted you to buy 5,000 and you had to typeset it. And it wasn't as easy as it is today. So I'm not asking you to do a paper cutter, but if you have to, do it. Whatever you got to do, we've got the designs in your back office. You can print them out yourself. You can take them to your local printer if it's cheaper. They may do 100 cards for you, but Vistaprint is pretty darn inexpensive. I think you'll spend $108 or something like that for 1,000 cards. So it's not, it's like not even a penny each. So it's pretty good, or about penny each, something like that. All right. So any other questions, McGuire?
We had one that I didn't see that was from a little while ago. From Leslie said, I'm brand new, don't have any funding customers yet. This was the aspect of the business that excited me the most. I need to learn first, how do I cold call businesses that I personally know, just a personal phone call?
Yeah. Well, I would cold call people you personally know is not a cold call. That's a warm call. That's a conversation. Just like if you to call them and wish them a happy birthday, that's not a cold call, right? So how do you introduce what you have to people you know? You introduce people to what you have. You share what you believe. So the easiest way to do any sales, at least for me, I don't consider myself a salesperson. I consider myself someone who does broker in things that help people, though. I'm willing to introduce them to things. I'm willing to introduce people into this glass cleaner because this is better than Windex on whiteboards. And I love this stuff. And we used this when I worked at the car dealership when I was a senior in high school. It was the best stuff. And my wife happened to have it. I sprayed it on my whiteboard and it worked amazing. I don't make a dime. I'm not selling you this. You don't need to buy this. I'm communicating a great tool to you. That's why I've got it here in my office. So I also talk about my Tesla vehicle, how much I love that. It's called word of mouth advertising. But am I making anything on Tesla? No, I just happen to love the vehicle. I also love my GMC truck that burns a lot of fuel. So I'm not doing it for the environment. I'm doing it because I love the speed and the responsiveness and the brilliance of this smart car that drives itself. I love it. And it's the fastest car in the world. I love that. I'm not saying I don't make a dime if you buy one. And guess what? I love helping business owners. So do you want to help business owners, who many of them are making some profit, maybe not a lot of profit? Or do you want to help business owners, some of them are making great profit, but they are sick and tired of payment processing fees? Yeah. So knowing what you're partnered with a company that has multiple processors that have ways to give them payment processing fees down to zero, called dual pricing. And we do it compliantly in every state. And we got experts who will help them answer every question they have, who want to help them understand it inside and out. We'll hold their hand for you. Knowing that, all you have to do is know that. Once you know that, then it's just a matter of, hey, I just wanted to reach out to you because I don't know if you know it, but I'm now in payment processing. So you inform them, you bring them up to speed. It's meet, greet, inform a stranger, but it's just greet and inform your friends. So you don't have to meet them. It's just greet and inform. So, hey, I'm just reaching out to you. It's a business related call, Marcy, because Marcy, I know you own a business and I don't know if you know this, but I'm now in payment processing. Yeah, I partner with a company, David Allen Capital, 10-year-old company, just an amazing group. They're primarily a funding company, but they've also got this payment processing division that's second to none. And what we do is we help eliminate people's fees. So I just wanted to let you know I'm in payment processing now in case you ever wanted to consider moving and saving money on your payment processing. In fact, what are you doing for payment processing right now? Are you already having dual pricing and do you already get it free, or are you still paying the fees? And go back to those two sorting questions. So you greet them and inform them that you're now in business funding first. You put Facebook posts up. I'm now in payment processing. I love this. We save people. You share some passion on your social posts. Go to my social feed every day. You'll see some passion I've got about one of our services. And you know what? People call me when they need the service because they know I don't know many people in payment processing, but I know Ruts is. I don't know many people in business funding, but I know Ruts is. I don't know, and I don't know many people in healthcare. I've gotten more calls about our health share product in the last 3 months off social posts. I don't even call people about it. They call me. So all I can say is as you move forward and get active promoting what you do, you'll have people reach to you. So you're not making outbound calls, but definitely the first thing you should do is list every business owner you know. Like we say in the business funding training, it's the same as payment processing. List every business owner you know and inform them you're now in this space and you're working with experts. Edify the experts because they know you're not an expert yet. You're new. Edify the experts. That means just speak highly about your experts because they know you're new. So, but you want to inform everyone you know you're now in payment processing if you're leading with that, or health share, or funding, whatever product you're leading with. Inform them, let them know you're in it, and make a list of all the business owners and just let them know. So, if at any time you want to move on those payment processing, we can help you. So you with that, you can ask them a yes or no question. Funding is if you ever need funding in the future, our platform is the best way. There's nothing better for getting funding. I just wanted you to know I'm in this space. I'll send you some information. So you're just informing them. That's all you do. So think back to the same way you'd inform them of a birthday party, or you'd inform them of a picnic you're going to, or a concert you have tickets to. You're just letting them know. You just let them know. There's no script required for that. In fact, if you're scripted, you're scary to a friend. Just speak from the heart. You found something you believe in and you just want to let them know. Now, the surface friends, the surface business owners, when we say canvas as a customer, that means talk to business owners where you frequent. You then have to meet them a little bit. Sometimes you have to say, you may not remember me, John. I do my dry cleaning with you. I'm the guy who drives this. I come in once. Well, maybe you'll know when I see you, but yeah, I've been doing my dry cleaning there for now 4 months or so. But I thought I'd call and introduce myself and let you know I'm now in payment processing because I figured, I love doing business with you. I figured I'd see if what you're doing for fees right now. Are you still paying them, or have you already switched to dual pricing and you got them free now? So at that place, you have to introduce yourself a little bit more, and it's easier to do in person when you're picking up your dry cleaning, or when you're ordering the soup or the coffee or the haircut, right? So canvassing as a customer is easier. And then you move to cold marketing, and then you're meeting, greeting, and informing, hey, I'm just calling to introduce myself as the opening line. You don't know me directly, but I just drove by your office. You don't know me directly, but I just met Tony, who cuts hair for you guys, and he told me all about you guys. You don't know me directly, but you always have to relate and identify something. Let's say they're in another state and you don't know why you're calling them, but they're a karate studio. You don't know me directly, but I've got a passion for karate and the martial arts. And so my job, I want to introduce myself to every dojo in North America because I want to help expand the sport. So my whole thing is helping those owners save money and make more profit, or get funding and make more profit. That's a better call than, hey, I was calling to tell you about my funding. So I'm just calling to introduce myself because, and you got to have a reason. And there's been studies done just by using the word because. People are more open. They just disarm. They disarm. And the reason can be, there's a study done on people in a college line for the copy machine. They purposely had a bunch of people in line. And then a couple people came into line who were really trying to get copies, but it was set up. And then they had people walk in and take cuts. And just taking cuts, the person would go, hey, the line's back there, right? Going and saying, hey, I got an exam in an hour, and they'd stand there. They go, yeah, we understand, but the back of the line's back there. Then the statement is, hey, do you mind if I come in right here? And some people go, sure. Some people go, no, the back of the line's back there. As soon as they said, hey, do you mind if I stand right here? I got an exam in an hour. Because I have an exam in an hour. Sure. Because I'm running late to something, or because I got here late, or because I'm running out of time, or it didn't matter the reason. They tested all kinds of reasons. As soon as you said because, people said, sure, sure. It's disarming. We teach it, people ignore it. Don't ignore it for your benefit. If you want to be heard, we've got a great message, but it's usually not heard. The email doesn't get opened. The conversation doesn't get listened to. So what we teach is not to be manipulative. What we teach is to be disarming, because we're disarming people. We're trying to help them. You don't offer, you don't, if you're a lifeguard, you wear a shirt. So when you jump in the water to grab them, they know you're the lifeguard. They're not going, get away from me. They know you're there to help. You got the orange shirt, shorts, and the thing over your shoulder, right? And it's the same thing. Disarm, let them know you're there to help them. You don't know me directly. I just want to introduce myself because I love helping business owners grow and be profitable. We love to help them get them funding. I just want to introduce ourselves because I love helping grow people's profits, and we've got a way to take your payment processing. I just want to introduce myself because I just drove by your truck on Main Street. And I said, man, I don't know that owner. That's a good reason to call. I don't know that owner. I just want to introduce myself because I want to help all the business owners in this community. If you can take what I just said, I've watched people make calls who don't do that. And it's like waste of time. They're not listening. They want to hang up. And I've done that, and I'm always well received. There is no gatekeeper. They become my friend. So it's a simple thing that I've been doing since I was 22, and it works every time. Not because I'm manipulative, but because I really care about the business. I really want to help them. And I'm okay if they don't want the product or the advertising or the funding I'm okay if they don't want it. I'm not responsible for the outcome. I'm just responsible that I go out and let them know what I have for them and find out if it's the right fit or not. So please follow that, use it, and you'll win. Any other questions? I know there's a lot of answer.
Yep,
Go
we have
ahead.
one left. Yep. This is from IBA. It said, do debit cards not get charged as much as credit cards? They used to be called check cards.
Debit cards are charged less by Visa. So yes. Debit cards and check. I just watched my screen with this stuff. This is amazing stuff. Debit cards are charged less, but on dual pricing, they're not. A card price is a card price. So they charge the customer the same. Surcharging, they can't be charged the same. Okay, so surcharge, they can't be marked up. It's treated as cash. Can't surcharge a debit card or check card. Or a prepaid Walmart card, a silver card, a gift card. None of those things can you add a surcharge to. Right. And most people just go, okay, you're paying with a card. We got to hit the button there that adds 4% on or adds $5 on. Well, that's not compliant with Visa. It's not compliant in any state. There's not a state in America where you can do that in a compliant way if it's a debit card. Okay. So with dual pricing, yeah, you can charge card price because Visa is charging the customer money and they're not getting the money for a day or two. So Visas allow you to say, hey, we want to charge a credit card price and a cash price. They allow that now in gas stations in every state. You can charge multi-pricing, dual pricing. You can do that. You just got to advertise the credit card price. You got to let them know this is the credit card price, this is the cash price. You can show both, but if you only show one, it's got to be the higher credit card price. And you can say card price, cash discount at checkout or something like that. Great question. All right.
David,
Jose,
we have one more. We have
Yeah,
one
thank
more,
you.
Jose Vasquez. You
Thank
can
you,
unmute
Mama.
yourself, Jose. Sorry, David.
No, thank you.
Jose, go ahead.
It's interesting. He's unmuted now. Go ahead, Jose.
Okay, you can hear me now?
Loud and clear, buddy.
Okay, great. I have a question and a comment, and not
Okay.
necessarily for payment processing. Tuesday nights, awesome biz op and training.
Thank you.
I like to go through and see who's attending, see if any of the people I invited attended. And as I was scrolling through the names, I think I came across Al Rutz.
Yeah, it's my dad.
Okay, I've never seen him. Never seen him and hadn't heard of his name or anything like that. And
Yeah.
I was just curious about that.
Yeah.
Now, 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 this is an idea for Christmas coming up, right? And have eh, kind of like a role play. You're the business owner, and have you taken advantage of DAC's uh, uh, employee Christmas bonus program yet? No, they haven't. No, you haven't. You don't even know what I'm talking about.
Right.
And we have a way where you can give, how many employees you have? 20? Or you can give each of your 20 employees $1,000, and it's not going to come out. It's not going to cost you anything. Would you like to learn more about this?
Sure. Tell me about it. How do I do
Okay.
that?
Okay, and then you switch it, and then you go into the
Dual pricing?
do pricing.
Yeah.
And the money they save from there, they can apply to their to their employees, and then they get to write that part off as an expense also, because it's a
Yeah.
bonus for them, so they can win-win, and everybody wins. Employees are happy, and yeah, that's just
Yeah. So, I mean, it's
another idea.
brilliant ideas. That's where you can get creative. When you cut someone's expenses, you're really driving more profit for them. There's all kinds of things they can do with that.
Right. That's
So
up
I
to
think it's a
them.
great idea. Very creative. And when you know what they're doing in revenue and what they're spending, you could then ask, some people use how much more of a competitive advantage would you have against the people up the street if you weren't paying those $5,000 a month in payment processing fees? If you can invest all 5,000 of that back into your advertising, what would that do to your sales? Whoa. If you could put an ad campaign on the local ABC channel or Fox News channel, CNN, whatever network you love, with that $5,000 a month, what would that do to your sales? Yeah. So there's great things. Business owners are always looking for a competitive advantage and, of course, more income. So we lead with that stuff more than just savings.
And Mr. Business Owner, this is Jose. Just checking in with you, seeing how that funding came out for you, and if you taken advantage, it has helped build your sales and whatnot. And I told you I was going to get back with you from time to time, check in on you. Well, this is that time, and I'm just calling to let you know that we're in the business of helping business owners make or save money, as you already know. So that being said, right now you still have so many payments to make, and with this program, and you lead on with payment
Yeah,
processing,
it
you can
help you make your
apply.
payment.
Well, yeah, you can make exactly.
Yeah, we
You
might
apply-
even be able to cover your monthly payment that you're making by moving your payment processing fees. So yeah, those are all good ideas. And one of the things, these are all creative things you can do as you do it more and more. The initial teaching we led with today was just a simple reach out and remind them that we have payment processing and find out if they're still paying fees or if they've already moved to dual pricing so that they get their fees down to zero. Just that peaking question is a real good way of yes or no. They got to say yes or no to that. Then you can follow up with the creative things. Oh, great, because we can get your fees down to zero and think about what you could do with that. But
exactly.
those two questions
Exactly.
first.
Yeah, the sorting questions.
Yeah, get to the sorting questions first so that once you know you've got a target market, you've discussed the problem, the fees, you've discussed the solution. Now you can discuss the benefits of that solution. I mean, you can see what you could do with competitive advantage, with company bonuses, with a Christmas party. I mean, whatever you want to do with that money, advertising, those are all pay your payment on your funding, give your wife or your husband a nice trip. Your savings would pay for 2 new car leases, and you can stop driving the old vehicles at home. You can get 2 new car leases with that savings. Whatever the answer is, you can get some creative. And I just want to say this last thing, guys, and we'll be done. Thank you, Jose. Don't forget this logic. Don't forget this logic. You guys, if I said to you, we can take your cable bill your home cable bill. Let's say you're paying $100, or your mobile bill. Say you're paying $100 for your mobile. Hey, we can take your mobile from 100 down to 70. You go, that's cool. That's cool. And if I say I can increase your income, I have a way that you can get a raise with your job guaranteed. You don't, I got, all you got to do is one thing and you have a raise at your job. You would take the raise in a minute. What do I got to do? Savings, you're like, maybe. So think about yourself. You could save money on your Comcast bill tomorrow if you call Comcast and talk to them. But if I say make one phone call and you get a raise on your job, you go, give me the number. What do I got to say? Everyone wants to increase their income more than save money. So lead with the savings, but talk about profit growth, because business owners are all focused every day. What their focus is, profit equals lifestyle benefit for me. Profit equals I'm winning the game. Yeah, I got to cut costs to do that. Cutting costs can help that. But more importantly is, what could that $1,000 do if it was all reinvested into savings? Instead of giving it to Visa, what if it went to the advertising company? What could that $1,000 do at your home? Instead of giving it to Visa, how much more would that make your home life easier to live? Extra $1,000 income going into your home. Those things are game changers. Game changers. So make sure you lead with the income, not the saving. Mention the savings, but always bring on, what would that do, that income? What are you spending right now on fees? Imagine that $2,000 a month coming in extra income now. What do you do with that? I mean, that's spectacular, because that's real. That is real. And so make sure you're talking savings. All right. We're almost on an hour. I was done in like 15 minutes, but we've done a half hour, 45 minutes of questions. That's awesome. All right, guys. Appreciate you all. We'll be talking to you tomorrow on the agent update call. Tuesday night's training is now in the Get Started training in the DACRC.com. It's also sent out in a welcome email to everyone who joins. The BizOp overview is now on your partner page. And we just put up a new YouTube video today, a little AI video about the Bank Breezy funding platform. Share it. That's why we put them up, for you to share. And we put 2 or 3 up in the last few days. So share them. We know they're AI. There's nothing wrong. Everyone's used to AI. It's not as polished as a regular video. The script was written by me. It wasn't written by AI. It's the right words. If you want to make your own video, say all the same stuff, great. Say it. It's cool. Make your own videos. We've encouraged you to make your own videos. Say them, talk, speak all the time. And I will be saying that same script myself later today, because it works. It solves the problem. And we'll be doing the same thing with payment processing and HealthShare. God bless you all. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Stay plugged in.